hitter, senior, number 8, Hannah Collier. At middle hitter, junior, number 14, Georgia Anderson. At center, sophomore, number 18, Megan Brinsky. At outside hitter, junior, number 20, Jordan.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcasting for another presentation of Southern Virginia University Athletics. And today we are here in Knight Arena for this USA South Women's Volleyball Conference matchup between the Pacers of William Peace University and your Knights of Southern Virginia. I'm Dawson Weeder, joined today by Justin Madsen, member of the Southern Virginia men's volleyball team. Justin, I think I speak for everyone in Knights broadcasting when I say it's great to have you on with us today.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I love the sport of volleyball, and I'm excited to help out in any way that I can and watch some good volleyball. It's going to be a good match today.
It really should. I mean, some of the top teams in the USA South Conference, the Knights sitting at 5th, right in the middle of the pack of the conference, and William Peace sitting at 3rd right now with a 9-2 conference record, 9-3 conference record. They've really been on a tear so far this year as far as conference play is concerned. Now, this matchup earlier in the year resulted in William Peace sweeping the Knights of Southern Virginia. That was, of course, an away game for the Knights. And Justin, you and I were talking before we went live here today about some things that Southern Virginia can do to change the story compared to last time around.
Right.
And one of the big things was just not shooting yourself in the foot.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the biggest things in volleyball and in sports in general is limiting unforced errors. That's really what it comes down to, is who can make the least amount of unforced errors, like what you're saying, shooting yourself in the foot. So if Southern Virginia can really limit those unforced errors, I think they have a really, really good chance of winning today.
Absolutely, and I think that you talk about unforced errors, especially when it comes to playing a good, consistent team like William Peace. The least unforced errors you have, the better chance you give yourself of, getting a win in this situation and building yourself up as far as conference standings is concerned. Another thing we talked about was starting fast. Making sure you're starting, not being flat-footed,
right,
not putting yourself in a hole right away. That's something that the Southern Virginia Knights here have done consistently over the past couple weeks, is that although they battle back, they allow a couple of points that make it just a little more difficult on themselves.
Right. And it also plays a part in the psychological game. If you come out firing, you come out playing hard, the opposing team's going to know that you're here to play, you're here to fight. So hopefully they can do that today.
Absolutely. And the starters for today's matchup here for William Peace, you have number 20, Jordan Juanez, and number 8, Hannah Calder, who, Justin, we talked about her before the game. She is one to look out for. Number 14, Georgia Grace Anderson. Number 16, Logan Moore. They have 18, Megan Brisky. Number 21, Chasey Jacobs. And number 22, Landis Lamone. And for Southern Virginia, you have the lone senior, number 2, Jelaine Peterson. Number 3, Brenna Clyde. Number 4, Sydney Bassett. Number 6, Jessica Ensley. They have number 7, Sarah Hoofman. Number 10, Madison Green. And number 25, Brooklyn Madlin. And so, again, this is a rematch of a conference matchup. Earlier this year, we'll have Sarah Hoofman back to serve to start off today's game. And Sarah Hoofman comes into this game with 39 service aces on the year. She's really been fantastic, especially the last couple of weeks. And their last matchup against Mary Baldwin just a couple of days ago, she had, I believe, a string of 4 straight service aces to help close out the third set for that sweep.
So you see a good serve, and the pass is off the net, which allows for a nice block on Southern Virginia's side. So we get the first point for the Knights.
And Madison Green and Brenna Clyde right there.
Sarah's back to serve again.
Here's Hoofman. That serve just a little bit short for Hoofman as the point goes to the Pacers, and now we will see number 20, Jordan Juanez, back to serve, the junior from Wilmington, North Carolina. Comes to this game with 305 assists and 201 digs.
Wow. Really nice serve. That's super hard to get as a passer when it falls just over the net like that. So
it had a bit of a side spin on that as well.
Yeah, I don't know how much on purpose that was, but it got the ace. So
Juanez once again back to serve.
Good pass from Sydney.
Here's Bassett. Great
dig.
Yeah, indeed, that was impressive. Here's Clyde. We got ourselves a good rally going on here. Bassett gets her hand on that one. Beautiful block that time from number 14, Georgia Anderson, the junior from Rockingham, North Carolina.
Yeah, that's a really great rally from both teams. They're staying consistent, getting balls in, getting good digs. So just from that point, I can tell it's going to be a good match.
Oh, absolutely, back and forth. As the score right now stands 3-1 in this first set. Here's Juanez again.
Great pass from Sydney. They're going to go to her.
Sets the outside. Green got her hand on that one. That results in a point for Southern Virginia. Great job keying in on Hannah Collier, who we mentioned now. She's one to keep track of today. She comes to this game with 211 kills, 241 digs, and 26 blocks. Really a Swiss Army knife there on the volleyball court.
Yeah. Sydney Bassett's back to serve for the Knights.
Tricky first pass, and then Southern Virginia takes advantage. Happy birthday to the front row blockers there.
That's right. Very well done by the front row. It's easy to get anxious and try to hit the ball and then touch the net or something, but they did right in just putting it down.
Here's Bassett once again.
Oh, it just trickles over the net.
That's one of those where, like, you never fully can try to do that, but when it happens, you're like, hey.
I'll take it. Absolutely.
Exactly how she wrote it up. At least that's what she'll tell herself.
Right.
But results in a service ace for Bassett. Gives her 36 on the year in that category. Here's Collier.
Outside and tight.
I think they're going to
Net
say
touch
that.
is called.
Yeah, that was Clyde they're going to call on that one.
Yeah. So that's one example of what we were talking about, those unforced errors. The
Right.
set was off. You didn't really need to do that. Just have discipline and put a good block over.
There's Anderson for the serve. Movement to Clyde. Great work there by both Collier and Lamone.
Yeah, big swing by Brenna, but the block was there.
So far, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the defense for William Peace right now. Their back row has been incredible. Their blockers have really been able to key on the hitters on the outside. Here's Madeline. That one sails on her.
Just long. Yeah, I mean, that feeling of, as a hitter, when every ball feels like it's touching the block, whether it's a block or just getting a touch off the block, is frustrating. It messes with you as a hitter. So, yeah, they're doing a good job of that on the side of the Pacers.
Ensley with the first pass. Here's Clyde. She's hoping for a little bit of revenge on that last block. Here's Clyde again.
System set and hit. It should be a free ball. They need to use this. Put this away.
Here's Green.
Great swing by Maddie.
She does just that. She put it away, and Maddie Green has really come into her own over the past couple of weeks since she was put into the starting lineup. Just a lot of confidence, and I always go back to one of the first things Coach Baker told me about her is that she just brings such a great energy onto the floor. And here's Ensley back to serve. That one is out.
Just long.
That
So we're all tied up now, 6 apiece.
And again, when it comes to fighting off against one of the top 3 teams in the conference and you're trying to battle back to a high position in conference standings, this is looking good so far for Southern Virginia.
Absolutely.
Here's Ensley once again. That one just short, gives the lead back to the Pacers. We'll have some substitutions, including number 9, Audrey Spindle, and number 15, Kelsey Hilton. Spindle's a sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina, and Hilton, a senior from Dry Fork, Virginia. That serve just short, so back-to-back self-inflicted errors there.
That's right. So if I'm Southern Virginia, I'm very happy about that, getting that error back, basically.
Everything balances out in the end, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we got number 13, Nikki Stevenson, sophomore from Elliott Lake, Canada.
Similar to Madison Green, she's kind of found her place, like you were saying, as a server and defensive player.
Especially, you know, again, those first passes and digs. I mean, Stevenson really has, I've seen just a visual improvement in that so far this year, just in the confidence.
Good touch by Sydney.
Ensley. Wolfman's just going to have to put it back over.
Tip. Lift was called on Sarah Hoofman on that first contact.
And I do believe that is the right call. That's exactly what happened there. But great effort to try to keep the play alive. Another substitution for the Pacers, and number 4, Kelsey Bierbauer, comes into this game with 123 kills on the year. And we have number 8, Hannah Collier, back to serve. Here's Peterson.
Jelaine going back for one of her favorite sets. Able to get the kill.
And that is indeed one of her favorite plays. I feel like over the past couple of years, her being at Southern Virginia, that's one of the plays she's consistently scored the most, is that pin, run to the outside, running start, go across the court. Tends to work out for her as it did just then.
Yeah, the slide usually works out in women's volleyball super well. Serve just goes out by Brooklyn Madeline, and so that's a free side out for the Pacers.
Now we have number 16, Logan Moore, back to serve, the senior from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Not used to reading the state North Carolina after the word Jacksonville.
Yeah. Kind
of threw me off for a second, but here's Hoofman to Peterson.
Same thing again. Block finds the court.
That is off the hand of number 14, Georgia Anderson. So another point for the Pacers. 10-8 now stands the score.
Yeah, when you're covering that block and you can't tell if it's going in or out, it's almost better to just go for it. Better safe than sorry.
Right. That serve also just, it feels like it's going back and forth. Whenever one team makes an error, the next team, or I guess the other team makes an error right afterwards.
Right.
Which, again, helps you out if you're trying to come back into a game. But both coaches absolutely scratching their heads right now. Near side. That's going to be just in.
Good swing from number 15, Kesley Hilton.
Got some more substitutions for the Pacers. Number 21, Chasey Jacobs, comes back onto the court, as well as number 18, Megan Brilski.
And for the Knights, Jessica Ensley is going to come back in.
And serving will be Logan Moore. 2-point lead for the Pacers. That serve just short. That ties both teams up with service errors with 3. We'll see Clyde come back onto the floor as well. So now in the front row, you have Brenna Clyde, Maddie Green, and Sydney Bassett. That is a dangerous combination. Mishandling that first pass is Collier, a rare mistake from her. Ties this thing back up at 11.
Yeah, I think the float serve is very underrated. That's what's used mostly in women's volleyball, and it's hard to read as a passer. There's a lot of movement on the ball, and just got away from her that time.
And that gives Hoofman her 40th service ace on the year. The ceiling helping out the Knights in this situation. Madeline just having to put it back over.
See if they can play some defense here.
Beautiful
Big
block
by Sydney.
Rising up, going straight down, textbook.
Let's go.
It's always a good feeling. We got Hoofman back to serve once again, and not only was that just a great play, it gives the Knights the lead here, 12-11.
Middle set.
Great effort there.
Do out of system.
And Clyde rising up and putting it down.
2 blocks in a row. That feels really good if you're a Knight right now.
And that goes to another thing that Coach Baker had talked to me about a couple weeks back, is that she feels like they're more in sync with their middle blockers over the past couple of weeks, and that's really been a huge help to them as far as just playing with more confidence and getting wins in the win-loss column, and that goes to the far corner away from pretty much everybody.
Yeah, just a smart play. It's funny because sometimes you get caught up in hitting the ball super hard, but really all it takes is finding that open court like that. So
right, absolutely.
A high IQ play.
Now back to serve is Jordan Juanez. Pacers down by 1. Clyde had to stop her approach there. Great dig from Ensley. Here's Collier. Diving effort there from Juanez. A little miscommunication. Pacers still to work with it. And you saw that Bassett was trying to get out of the way, but Green had to go around her and barely able to get a hand on it.
And then, yeah, there's always that hesitation of who's going for it, and the ball found the court. Lots of good blocks, though, from the Knights. It's really impressive.
We'll see Juanez back to serve once again, tied up at 13 here. Here's Collier. And Bassett rising up. And it'll land out of bounds point for Southern Virginia. Touching that one was Chasen Jacobs.
Yeah, good swing by Sydney, finding the outside of that block to get the tool. Now she'll be back to serve.
And that was Sydney Bassett's first kill of the day. Taking a little time to get her into the mix of things offensively. High IQ play from Hoofman.
Yeah, I love seeing that. I love seeing a setter get a kill. It's always fun.
She's gotten really good at that over the past about 2 months, I feel like. She's really found those openings, and a lot of times it works out. There are some plays where they're able to make a great dig and able to get underneath it, but that one worked out really well. Here's Bassett to serve.
Yeah, the key is to be able to disguise that as the setter, and she did that super well. Good dig by Sarah Hoofman. Free ball for the Pacers. Let's see if they can execute.
And Bassett diving for it. Spins away from the rest of the team, and so it'll go down for the Pacers. Brings it back within one.
One thing that can be difficult for the defense is when the ball kind of hits the net like that or gets a touch off of the block, it's hard to read the ball.
Madlin able to get a full swing, but that's going to be just out. The Knights wanting a tip, but they will not get it.
Number 14, Georgia Anderson back to serve for the Pacers.
Now tied up at 15 apiece here at Knight Arena.
Great pass with Brooklyn.
Another high IQ play for Hoofman.
She does it again.
She didn't even react to that one that time. It was just business as usual, like, hey, another day at the office, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's disguising it super well. I mean, it's hard to do anything as a defense if you don't know what's happening.
And really, it's forcing William Peace to be a lot more aware.
Right. They'll be looking out for that now, from now on. Great defensive play. See, they're going to call 4 contacts.
Yeah, I think that it bounced off of Clyde, then to Hoofman, then Clyde hit it again.
Yep.
Got some more substitutions for the Pacers, excuse me. Number 9, Audrey Spindle, and number 15, Kelsey Hilton. I'd say the Papers would be a much less intimidating mascot than the Pacers, that's for sure. But now we'll have number 9, Audrey Spindle back to serve. Tied at 16 here, and what has been a fantastic first set.
Set's a little off the net, but Jelaine puts it over. Good dig by Sarah. Let's see what they can do. Another free ball. Sydney gets to the tip. Great hustle. Another roll. Lots of rolls and tips.
One-handed.
Yeah.
Here's Collier. Right on that back line. Gives the Pacers back the lead.
Yeah, I mean, the number 1 open shot or open spot on the court is going to be these deep corners. And so if you can hit a roll shot or some sort of shot with pace into those corners, it's almost an automatic point.
A little quick timeout on the floor here as they're trying to make sure that they clean up a wet spot. But I mean, you talk about conference matchups, how intense they always are and how familiar the teams are with each other. And you always say, oh, it's going to be a very tightly contested game. This is the definition of that right now. Both teams are playing great defense, very high level energy, very high level effort. It's just great volleyball right now. You love to see it. Clyde with a dig. There's Collier, able to get through the block. Another kill for Collier, gets her second of the game.
Yeah, that's really big for the Pacers. That's going to give them a 2-point lead. We haven't really seen that for very long in the set, so.
Now we'll see Audrey Spindle once again back to serve. Correction, that is Collier's 3rd kill of the game. She leads both teams in that category. And Clyde.
Big swing from Brenna.
What's great about Brenna is that she has this great reach, and so she can get to that ball higher up in the set than a lot of the players at her position can.
Absolutely. Yeah, and in order to get speed on the ball, it's all about the arm swing speed, not necessarily the power, and she has that arm swing speed, which gets her a lot of kills.
That serve from Stevenson, just a little out, gives the Pacers back a 2-point lead here. Another substitution, number 4, Kelsey Bierbauer. And Hannah Collier back to serve. Like I mentioned before, she leads both teams with 3 kills.
Great pass.
I think it was tipped maybe by the net that time. Here's Madeline. Great effort there from Collier. Stevenson diving one hand. Here's Madeline. My goodness, what a powerful hit from Madeline.
This was the best rally so far. Lots of great defense, good defensive awareness. Everyone knew where the ball was going. They were digging the ball, great hits.
And I'm just going to say this right now. I think this is the best defensive volleyball we've seen from the Southern Virginia team this season, at least here at home.
For sure. Good hustle from Brooklyn. I love seeing that. Even if you may not think I'm going to get that, I need to see you hustle, and I love seeing that from the Knights.
Right, absolutely, because it sends a message to the rest of your team that, you know, maybe something will be out of reach, but I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to fight for the rest of my teammates.
Right.
And we will see Logan Moore back to serve.
Knights really need this point.
Here's Bassett trying to drop behind the blockers. They're going to say in the net there.
Net called on the Pacers.
I think they're going to say that that was number 14, Georgia Grace Anderson.
I believe so.
So now we're going to see a substitution of number 9, Taryn Anderson, back to serve for the Knights. They are down by 1.
That's really big because they would have been down by 3 at the end of the set, and you don't want that. Big swing from the middle.
That was Anderson responding back.
Talk about a high reach. That was a really high reach from our 14.
We'll see Hensley come back onto the floor for the Knights. And back to serve for the Pacers is number 18, Megan Brilski. Sophomore from Lindenhurst, Illinois.
This is a must-win point for the Knights.
Right on that back line.
It just paints that back line.
We're going to see a timeout here from Southern Virginia head coach Debbie Baker, as they're now down by 3. Like you said, Justin, this is not a situation that the Knights want to be in here late in this first set. But in this time, I want to take a quick moment to give a shout out to all those who partner with Southern Virginia Athletics, a lot of these being local businesses here in Buena Vista, Virginia, them being Cornerstone Bank, Mill Creek Orthodontics, River Crossing Apartments, Straws Drinks and Eats, Grace Automotive, where SVU students and staff can receive 10% off their vehicle maintenance needs, Papa John's Pizza, locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, The Beef Sweet Souvenirs, and Katana Sushi and Hibachi Express. If you would like to partner with Knights Athletics to promote your business to the Knight Nation, please contact Brett Schroeder at 801-633-1894. That's 801-633-1894. Once again, thank you so much for supporting Southern Virginia Athletics. We appreciate you. Again, I frequent a lot of these places very often, including Straws, Drinks, and Eats. Papa John's, of course, we see a lot of Papa John's pizza at Southern Virginia events, as well as Katana Sushi and Hibachi. I mean, my wife and I get that pretty frequently, I'd say. We love a good sushi and hibachi.
Oh, yeah. I still need to go. I haven't been to Katana yet. I've heard really good things, but
Justin, shame on you.
I love sushi, so I need to go.
We love that place. We love all those businesses who partner with Southern Virginia Athletics. So now, after this timeout, again, you're down by 3 late in this first set. If you're Southern Virginia and William Peace, we're being quite honest, playing incredible volleyball right now. And Justin, what's one thing you think Southern Virginia can do to maybe come back and take this first set?
I mean, like we were saying before the match started, it's all about unforced errors and staying consistent. And when you're down 3 and in the end of a set, it's all that more important. You have to be almost perfect. I know it's not possible, but no errors, staying consistent, getting balls in. That's the key here. And staying composed. Don't panic. Don't play scared.
Absolutely.
And they're capable of that, so we'll see what they can do here.
There was a conversation between the team captains and the up ref. Not quite sure what that was about, but we're free to get back to play here. Hoopman having to save that one.
Net touch, that's huge for the Knights.
That is absolutely huge. That was Chasey Jacobs who was in the net, and Bassett had to dig that ball out of the net that time.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney, she was sending over a free ball, and so as a blocker, I mean, you don't really need to go up for that, and so that was a big unforced error.
And the Knights can breathe a huge sigh of relief because they were really out of system that time. Another mistake from William Peace brings it back within one.
Just like that.
Again, it goes back to what you were just saying, Justin. Don't have unforced errors, and back-to-back plays when William Peace does just that.
Yep.
Here's Hoofman to serve once again. Knights now down by one.
Great pass.
And that's going to fall right behind Madison Green. Her and Bassett got their hands on it.
Yeah.
And I believe we will see another timeout from Debbie Baker in Southern Virginia as they find themselves down by two once again. 23-21 is the score right now in the first set in this USA South Conference matchup. So again, can't have any unforced errors. You got to make sure that you stay disciplined, just exactly the things you said, Justin. And
yeah, and staying intense.
Right.
That doesn't mean play timid or shy. You got to stay intense while doing those things, and so we'll see if they can do that in these last few points here. It's always important to win that first opening set. It kind of secures a set in the beginning and helps you to feel comfortable throughout the rest of the match.
It absolutely does. And just looking at the statistics right now for both these teams, it's pretty even all across the board. I mean, there's no real massive differential between these two teams. Very similar hitting percentage. You have similar amount of total attacks. I mean, right now William Peace leading in that category, 32-28. And in errors, service errors, same, 3 apiece. Then you have block errors. William Peace only has the lone one there. 2 reception errors for both teams. And again, just about as even as you can expect this to be, or hope it to be at least. We have Jordan Juanez back to serve for the Pacers.
Yeah, when the stats are that close, it really comes down to who wants it more.
Right. And who's going to step up and make that one play. There's Green to Clyde. Here's Collier. Gets it past the blockers there on that far side. Make it set point for the Pacers.
Yeah, that set was just inside, and that opened up a lot more room on the line for her to roll it into that corner. So a set point for the Pacers here.
We got Juanez back to serve once again. Be a massive uphill battle if the Knights want to win this first set. First pass issue there does the Knights in that first set. That's another thing we talked about at the beginning of this game, Justin, is that you got a better passing on that first pass. That's something that the Knights have been kind of inconsistent with over the course of the season, is that when they have games where they're passing well, surprise, surprise, they do really well and they get a lot of wins. When they don't do as well, it's a coin toss. It's a coin flip. You know, it's really hard, like you were talking to me before the game, Justin, to get things going without that first pass.
Yeah, and obviously it's easier said than done, but yeah, it's key. I mean, you can't do anything unless you have a good contact on that first one.
You're absolutely correct. And between this first and second set of today's game, we're actually going to be honoring Southern Virginia University's women's soccer team, who last night, after a 5-0 victory over the Pacers of William Peace, claimed the regular season conference championship, posting a regular season so far record of 9-5-1, 8-0 in conference play. Last night, McKenna Winterton led the way for Southern Virginia with 2 goals. And they'll actually be playing their last conference match of the season next Saturday, October 28th, versus Meredith at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So having an absolutely phenomenal year for this women's soccer program. And again, we'll be hosting all their conference tournament games at Knight Stadium, which will be broadcasting here on Knight Broadcasting, which is, again, incredibly exciting. Congratulations to Southern Virginia women's soccer. You see them holding up that trophy there. That's a proud moment right there. I mean, we've had plenty of conference championship teams here at Southern Virginia the past couple of years, both women's volleyball, men's volleyball, women's soccer, it's just, you love to see the trophies pile up in the trophy room to the point where you kind of start thinking, where are we going to store all these things?
Yeah. Yeah, it's super exciting for them. They're a fun, good group of girls, and they've worked hard, and so it's fun seeing them get first in conference and put themselves in a good position for the tournament. So I'm excited to watch those games.
And now just looking at the statistical leaders for both squads right now. Hannah Collier having a pretty decent day so far with 5 kills. You have Georgia Grace Anderson following her up with 3. And then Kelsey Bierbauer with 1 and Kelsey Hilton with 1. And then for Southern Virginia's side, you have Sydney Bassett with 2 kills, Hoofman with 2 kills, Madison Green with 2, and Jelaine Peterson with 1. And then for assists, you have a couple players for the Pacers getting into that statistical category. You have Audrey Spindle with 6, Megan Brilski with 5, and Hannah Collier with 1. Sarah Hoofman has all 6 assists for Southern Virginia. And again, big thing is that both teams had great middle block play. For the most part, both teams had great back row defensive play. It's just, again, getting that first pass for Southern Virginia consistently and not hurting yourself. Again, I'm going to say it like a broken record because at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to.
Right. If I'm looking at these stats as a setter, I'm gonna see that our middle, Madison Green, has a 500 hitting percentage. I want to set her more. Obviously, don't go away from your other hitters. You need to keep it creative and set everybody, have a variety. But if I can get a good pass, I'm going Madison Green.
Absolutely. I mean, she's got a lot of power and a lot of accuracy behind her swings, and I think that's a great insight there, is that we're attacking a lot on the outside, and every now and then we're giving it to our middles. Like Jelaine Peterson had a couple of sets for the slide or pin play, whichever one you want to call it, and one of them worked. The other one resulted in the Pacers being able to get that good first pass and respond right back. But again, consistently spreading it around and trying to be unpredictable, I think, is the key word we're trying to look for here, is being more unpredictable. That way the Pacers can't really key on your hitters as easily as they have been.
Right.
Now to start things off in the second set, we'll have number 18, Megan Brilski, back to serve. And I think she caught the night sleeping that time, falls right in front of Madeline.
Yeah, sometimes, like I was saying, with those float serves, the ball will just drop. It's really hard to read.
It's a good start here for the Pacers in this second set.
Great pass, perfect pass by Brenna.
It's hard to tell who that was intended for, and that is going to be a kill for Anderson.
Touch was called. Yeah, it looks like that set was just out of reach for Madison there.
And it's always hard to tell whether the set was too high or Green approached too quickly, or just something about the timing was off, and that goes down for Bassett.
Big kill for Sydney. Finds the seam in between, that hole in between the block.
And gets to fall right in front of Hannah Collier.
Now, if I'm middle back in the defense there, that's my goal. It's my objective, is to find those holes in that block and dig that. So we'll see if they can do that next time.
Took a second, but they're going to say that it's 4
No
hits.
touch.
Exactly, no touch at the net. And so the Knights tie it back up.
Sydney Bassett back to serve again.
And it goes back to the pattern we saw in that first set, where one team would have a couple plays, they gain a little bit of momentum, the other team would respond right back, not really give up too much ground.
And she's under, they got to be really careful about that. That's how injuries happen.
And that
looks
was,
like everyone's okay though, which is good.
Yeah, Jordan Juanez jumped right into the net on that swing. Really had a lot of momentum on her jump. Able to get back up, and up ref is just making sure. Because again, like you said, when you jump into the net like that, that's basically a clothesline.
Right.
And on a hard floor like this, that can become very scary really fast. And that's going to hit the antenna there. Another unforced error for the Pacers. That time it was Chasey Jacobs. So that's 4 straight points for Southern Virginia. That serve a little long for Bassett.
Yeah, one thing that our coach always reinforces is you do not end your own runs, especially when the other team's making unforced errors like that. You gotta utilize that. You gotta take advantage and keep your serves in and let them keep making those mistakes. So there's a free side out for the Pacers.
Yes, Juanez back to serve.
Perfect pass from Brooklyn.
Here's Clyde.
Great dig from the middle back there.
Hopeman trying some trickery once again.
A free ball that was just converted into another free ball.
Tip there from Clyde. And Madeline back to swing, and that's going to be off the hand.
Finds that hand,
Jacob.
gets the tool.
2-point lead now for Southern Virginia.
Right. We have a sub here for the Pacers, number 9, Audrey Spindle coming in.
And we'll see Jessica Ensley back to serve for Southern Virginia as they now have a 2-point lead. You have now Jelaine Peterson and Brenna Clyde there on that front line for Southern Virginia. Great work there from Bassett. Clyde flying in.
Big swing from Brenna Clyde.
I mean, I don't think the Knights were really able to get in system that entire rally, but Brenna Clyde basically said, enough is enough. I'm going to put this down.
Yeah, I don't care if we're in system. I'm putting this away.
We got Ensley back to serve once again. Knights now up by 3. Just the top of the net there. And once again, like you're talking about, Justin, ending your own run with a service error.
Right.
Now we'll see number 14, Georgia Grace Anderson, back to serve. Here's Clyde. Great work there from Collier.
Gosh, those tight sets always get me nervous. That's how feet go under and injuries happen. So I was kind of cringe when I see those tight sets. But I'm glad everyone's okay.
You're absolutely right. There have been many a player who, with feet underneath the net, that a lot of bad things can happen. Peterson gets a setup, and it looks like a good setup for her.
Right.
But I think the set may have been just a little low, or something didn't quite work out there.
Yeah, and I mean, the mindset you got to have as a hitter is you have to take accountability. You got to say, I need to be there quicker. I need to be there, whatever.
Yeah.
You should always tell yourself it's my fault. So that it's all about bettering the ball, right? So maybe the set's not perfect, but I'm going to do what I can to get a good hit.
Right.
And
having that adjustability to that.
Be able to adapt.
Here's
but in the end, yeah, it may be the setter's fault.
We have now Nikki Stevenson back to serve. A ceiling coming into play here at the barn.
Jordan going back once again. High touch off of the block. They're able to dig that.
Peterson gets a hand on that one. Point for Southern Virginia. And we talked about the Knights maybe wanted to target Madison Green a little bit more. I feel like Peterson didn't get a whole lot of looks in that first set either. So I guess the main story is just trying to attack from the middle more frequently than you did in the first set. So Stevenson back to serve once again. That's going to go off the shoulder of Stevenson. She was trying to get out of the way. Unfortunately, not able to do so. The Pacers bring it back within 1 with number 9, Audrey Spindle, back to serve.
Sydney Bassett's bringing up her hitting percentage this set. So hopefully Sarah can see that and start setting her a little bit more as well. Serve just touched the net. They're able to dig that, though.
Great reaction from Peterson. That's me just in on the hit from number 22, Landis Lamone. Ties it back up at 8. And we'll have Spindle back to serve once again. Here's Peterson.
There it is. See what we can do out of system here. Nikki with the dig.
Madeline. Great effort there from Moore. Pacers ready that time. They made that adjustment that we talked about that they needed to make.
Right.
And that's going to go through the block there. And responsible for that is number 15, Kelsey Hilton. So the Pacers take back the lead.
1-point game here in the second set.
Good
Great
first pass. Madeline doing a great job.
Recycling that. Great cover by Sydney Bassett there. Outside.
And that's going to fall for Southern Virginia. I'm telling you, the wall that's been created from Landis Lamone for the Pacers has just been absolutely fantastic, especially on that rally. 3 separate times they tried hitting it to her, and 3 times she put it right back to their side.
Right. Yeah, lots of good defense from both teams, which is fun to see.
We got Madeline back to serve. Another kill there for Hilton.
Ball finds its way in between the arms of Jelaine Peterson. It's always frustrating as a blocker when it goes right between your arms.
And subbing in for the first time today is number 8, Ruby Blaemeyers, freshman from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Pacers with a 1-point lead here. And Hilton with that last kill brings her total up to 3 today. Bassett having to jump backwards a little bit for that hit. Hoofman getting her hand on that one.
Another block for Sarah.
Gets past Bassett. And another kill for Hilton.
Yeah, the past few points have been the hits just barely getting through those blocks. And as a back row defense, it's hard to do anything about that when the ball just kind of trickles over the block like that. But just got to press more and stay firm with that block.
Blaemeyers for the serve. That one just short.
Free side out for the Knights there.
And I think that's been really impressive to me in the second set is the fact that, of course, we mentioned Collier having 5 kills in that first set, doing a lot of great work there. But in the second set, they've really relied on other players such as Kelsey Hilton to really step up and make some plays. Just kind of shows that depth that you have on your team to rely on other people whenever things aren't going well for maybe one hitter or the other.
Absolutely.
Getting back over is Bierbauer. Here's Green. Stevenson having to dive for that one. Point for the Pacers.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times from William Peace where they find that back corner. It's a great play. It's a smart play.
We'll see Ensley come back on the floor for Southern Virginia. And for the Pacers, we'll see number 14, Georgia Anderson. Battling at the net is Green. Here's Bassett. And that's going to go out.
Big
Give a nice
swing.
point.
Gets that tool.
We'll see Brenna Clyde come back onto the floor with Sarah Hoofman back to serve. The Knights down by 1. Bassett by herself.
Gosh, that's the best feeling in volleyball.
That was
one-on-one block like that.
I mean, she got her hands facing inward. It was just
Completely
absolutely
pressed over the net. Beautiful block.
I mean, when you look up a volleyball block in the dictionary, you're going to get a picture of that.
Yeah.
Hilton's hit is going to basically roll right towards us.
Yeah. The Knights have the lead now. Up 1 point.
It's always fun whenever the athletes get the commentators involved in the game.
Yeah.
Here's Hoofman back to serve, and like you said, the Knights taking back the lead here in the second set, really battling back right now. Free ball here. Take advantage. Here's Bassett. There's a fantastic dig from Moore. Here's Clyde.
Brenna Clyde covers herself.
Bassett drops it right in front of Moore.
Beautiful tip right into the campfire in that middle.
The Knights now with a 2-point lead here.
Yeah, it's really fun seeing the Knights locked in right now. They're here to play.
There's Anderson. Knights diving for it left and right. You end up with 3 Knights on the floor after that one. But you love the effort.
Yeah.
And for the Pacers, you'll see number 18, Megan Brilski, subbing in, and she'll be back to serve. Here's
Passes
Hooper.
off the net.
What a powerful swing from Clyde.
I mean, that was out of system, too.
Here's Green. Anderson getting it back over. Hoofman to Bassett. Had to lean back for that one. Couldn't get on top of it.
No touch called.
Tied up at 14 apiece now. I mean, I must say, this is probably the most complete game of volleyball that I have witnessed here broadcasting this year. This has been absolutely phenomenal. That time, hitting the antenna, and the Pacers take back the lead. And what's interesting about this game as well is that in most other games, you feel like momentum stays with one team for a while, or it's very evident who has the momentum at any point. With this game, it's just been up in the air. You can't really tell who has the upper hand.
No, I agree completely.
Another block. Well, they're going to say indeed fell on Southern Virginia's side. It looked like maybe a block for Green at first, but now the Pacers have a 2-point lead.
Yeah, there's just a gap between the blocker and the net, and the hitter's able to find that gap.
Great
Good court awareness by Ruby there.
Absolutely fantastic. Brings it back within one. And that can be hard to adjust to if, say, you committed to getting to it and then you notice at the last second and then be able to get out of the way.
Right.
Incredibly difficult, but now with Sydney Bassett back to serve. Collier, another mishandled first pass. That's the second time we've seen that from her today. Ties it back up at 16. And you see that Bierbauer able to get that through. Pacers take back the lead with number 20, Jordan Juanez, back to serve. And here's the key right here, coming up on 20 points. If you're Southern Virginia, you can't give up any more. You got to make sure that you play your cleanest volleyball of the set right now.
I don't know if this crosses over to women's volleyball, but in men's, first team to 18 points, almost like 80% of the time wins that set.
Green able to get that block, and I think you're absolutely right. It's either that 18 to 20 point, whoever the first one to get there, like you said, 80-85% of the time is going to win that set overall. So if you're Southern Virginia, you're wanting to get there because even if it's not a guarantee, that gives you all the more confidence that, hey, we're in the lead right now, late in the set, we can put this away. Hoofman having to dive for it. Blay Myers gets that to fall.
It's a great tip.
And a lot of it also goes back to, Justin, you mentioned the psychological aspect of the game. Everybody knows that statistic you just, on the floor, everybody knows that statistic you just talked about, right? First person to get to 18 or 19 or 20 points is more likely going to win the set. They know that very well. They've experienced that. And so they're fighting for that advantage. That hit from Bassett is going to go out. Timeout here from Coach Baker, and she knows that too. She knows how important these next couple plays are.
Absolutely.
As the Knights find themselves down by 2.
So they want to get rid of any momentum that the Pacers possibly have right now, and so they're going to go ahead and take that timeout.
You know, you talk about momentum. I mean, the sport that, in my opinion, momentum swings the furthest after timeouts is the sport of volleyball. You know, you can come out of timeout and you can have had all the momentum in the world going into it, but as soon as you come out of it, you can come out flat-footed and all of a sudden, boom, 3-point run by the other team.
Yeah, there's something about each point. There's a reset. Yeah, I mean, every point is a unique point. So there's no consistent time running of like basketball or whatever it may be. Every point is individual, and so yeah, momentum can shift within that 1 point.
Absolutely true. And so right now the score stands Pacers 19, Knights 17. here in the barn of Southern Virginia. If you're just joining us, this is set number 2 of this USA South Conference matchup. And it's been a good one, folks. I mean, what else can you say? It's been back and forth, great defense, great everything on the volleyball court that you could possibly want. Great rallies. It's just been an absolute blast to watch. And if you're new to tonight's broadcasting here on YouTube, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and comment down below some of your highlights of the game so far, and comment down below some things we can improve on here at Night Broadcasting for your viewing experience of Southern Virginia athletics. We appreciate your support of Night Broadcasting. Now, we got number 14, Georgia Grace Anderson, back to serve. Good first pass. Here's Clyde. Powerful swing, but great work there from Brilski. Wolfman to Madlin. Smart play there from Peterson.
Yeah.
Madlin. Extending was Hoofman, and the Knights able to get it back over. They're going to say that Southern Virginia was in the net. I thought it was going to be William Peace. Peterson is incredibly confused. I think she's pointing to her hair, saying that her hair maybe got in the net.
Right.
But 3-point lead now for the Pacers. Clyde. I guess she didn't like that last call either.
Yeah, that's a great set from Sarah Hoofman from the ground. That's not easy to do.
We got Stevenson back to serve.
Good on Brenna Clyde for putting that away as well. Showing her appreciation for that set.
And so now Knights down by 2 here, late in the second set.
We can't have any missed serves here.
Collier lands that right in an open spot there in the back row. It seemed like the back row for Southern Virginia, that play was a bit hesitant. They took too long to react. So another timeout here for Coach Baker in Southern Virginia.
Yeah, when you're in that middle back position, sometimes you just have to take a guess of whether they're going to hit it to your right side or left. And if you guess wrong, it's really, really hard to dig it. But right, there's absolutely that sense of hesitation that affects it as well.
Right, and a lot of it goes down to just those instincts, right? You play volleyball for so long that, I mean, you know this as a libero, you know, you just have the instinct of maybe you know where it's going to go, maybe you're just guessing.
Right.
The only people that can really adjust to a hit on the fly is maybe the Flash from DC Comics, but even then, like, that's still pretty difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to, there's different details, different things that you can pick up on, where the hitter is, how they're approaching, how their arm swing is, what direction their arm swing is, and obviously the block plays a big factor. But
again, there's only so much you can do in a situation like that. But the point is you got to react in some way.
Right.
Right. Like you said, even if you have to guess, if you guess wrong, at least you did something.
Right, exactly.
It's now 3-point lead for the Pacers. We will see Hilton come back onto the floor, and Hilton now has 4 kills on the day. We saw her get a lot of great hits early on in this set. Now we have number 9, Audrey Spindle, back to serve. Peterson, the reaction time. Stevenson diving for it, and it's going to fall for the Pacers. Peterson wanting to get a towel to wipe down the floor on their side. Knights now down by 4. And it's suddenly now the case that Southern Virginia is struggling in their back row, whereas in the first set, it was almost perfect in that first set.
Right. Yeah, and that can be attributed to the improved serving as well, but yeah, we've got to stay consistent with the serve receive here.
Knights out of system here. Here's Collier, and it's going to be out. Got to hit it with her left hand.
She's unable to connect on that free ball. That was a very, very fast-paced set. Yeah, if that hitter was there, there was no way the block was there. That was a very quick set.
Right. And the set ended up landing a little bit too far to the outside. And now we'll have Madlin back to serve. Here's Collier. Bassett. And then Moore with the dig there. Missing on the swing that time is Lamone. Just like that, it's within 2.
Yeah, I mean, in the first set as well, we were seeing at the end the Pacers making a few unforced errors, but they were still able to finish with the win. Let's see what happens here.
Gray's in the top of the net that time with that serve. Here's Collier. Wolfman gets it to Bassett.
Great pass by Delane.
Bassett, what a dig. And Peterson puts it right back down.
Gosh, I love seeing Sydney hit. She's got a very, very powerful swing. It's fun to see. She's an athlete.
It's great to watch as a spectator. Not as fun to see it on the floor when it's being hit towards you.
I mean, she was on the Pacers side. That was a great dig. I mean, she was there. She got under it. It just barely got over the net.
That serve just short from Madlin. It's now back to a 2-point lead for the Pacers, and that was Landis Lamone in that dig that you just mentioned. And you know, she had to lean back quickly, get it up in the air, falling on the floor. I mean, that's a fantastic effort. Now we'll see Hannah Collier back to serve. There's Peterson. Good kill for Peterson. Brings it back within 1, and we will see Madison Green and Taryn Anderson come back on the floor.
Yeah, 1-point game here, 1-point difference, so we have to really limit these errors. Both teams do.
Good first pass. Anderson, great reaction. And that's going to be out. Point for Southern Virginia. Ties up at 23.
They're tied up.
Kelsey Hilton was hitting that one, and as soon as she went up, you just know that Southern Virginia was kind of losing their breath a little bit because she's been very consistent in the second set. Now timeout called by head coach Hannah Marshall of William Peace.
Yeah, and props to Taryn Anderson on that serve there. That was a very strong serve, confident serve, and that's not easy to do when you're under pressure in the end of a set like that.
That's absolutely true. And during this timeout break, I want to give it one more shout out to our partners of Southern Virginia Athletics, including Cornerstone Bank, Mill Creek Orthodontics, River Crossing Apartments, Straws Drinks and Eats, Grace Automotive, where SVU students and staff can receive 10% off their vehicle maintenance needs, Papa John's Pizza, locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, The Beef Sweet Souvenirs, and Katana Sushi and Hibachi Express. If you would like to partner with Knights Athletics to promote your business to the Knight Nation, please contact Brett Schroeder at 801-633-1894. That's 801-633-1894. Once again, we appreciate your support of Southern Virginia Athletics. And if you're visiting Buena Vista, Virginia, whether you're visiting the campus or visiting the school or visiting the town or hiking, whatever the case may be, stop at those local businesses. You will not regret it.
Yeah, there's a lot of BV classics right there. A lot of students love to go there to hang out and have a good time.
They absolutely do. Now, with Taryn Anderson back to serve, it is tied at 23 apiece here in the second set. This could be a huge momentum shift.
Great serve.
Great dive there from Blaine Myers, who's now on the floor.
A little out of system here. Let's see what they can do.
Great work from Hoofman.
Huge block. That's so big for SVU there.
Set point for Southern Virginia. Probably the biggest point of the night to this point. The Knights fight back from being down by 4 points. I think it was 22-18. Blaine Myers to Bassett. Great work there from Bierbauer.
Free ball. See if they can convert to win the set here.
Here's Bassett, middle.
Yeah.
Beautiful setup and delivery. The Knights take the second set over the Pacers of William Peace. What a comeback in that second set, relying on your old reliable Sydney Bassett and setting up in the middle that time. We hadn't seen that all game long yet, because we had seen her being set up on that far side, this time over across the middle. Absolutely fantastic work there. And a lot of it thanks to, like you mentioned, Justin, that free ball opportunity that Southern Virginia was able to take advantage of.
Yeah, I love seeing that conversion. When you get a free ball, you always want to put those away and get that point.
And now between this second and third set of today's matchup, we'll have another honor given, this time to former Southern Virginia University women's volleyball player Emma Steiger. Emma Steiger, if you've been watching women's volleyball here for Southern Virginia, you know that name all too well. She played libero here for Southern Virginia and was absolutely a formidable force defensively. And she is being awarded the Rita Wiggs Award. And again, we've talked about her defensive abilities and the way she's led this program for so many years. And she is last year's award winner. Emma helped the Knights to win 2 USA South regular season and tournament championships as a 2-time all-conference member and was named the 2022 USA South Libero of the Year. She accumulated a perfect 4.0 GPA while double majoring in biology and biochemistry and was a 4-time academic all-conference honoree. And you know, Justin, I love the fact that we have you in here today. Since you're a libero yourself, yeah. I mean, what can you say about, obviously you can brag about yourself a little bit here too.
No.
What can you say the importance of a libero for a team like Emma Steiger can be for a program like this?
Yeah, well, firstly, I know Emma Steiger personally. She's an awesome, athlete and also student and person. And so I love seeing her being awarded this prestigious award. Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, volleyball, it's all about, it's probably the most team-oriented sport that I can think of. You literally cannot do anything without someone making a good contact. And that first contact in every point is going to be that first pass or dig or whatever it may be, and that's the libero's role, is to dig the ball. Yeah, obviously they don't get a lot of attention because it's not very, I don't know. There's not a lot of excitement in what they do. I usually look towards the hitters, and you like seeing the verticals and the strong hits and the blocks. But yeah, I think that's the foundation of a team is their passing, and the leader of the passing and defense is the libero. And so she was able to do that for many years while she was here. She was the best libero that we've seen in a long time. And so, yeah, congrats to her. I'm super excited for her.
Once again, that's Emma Steiger receiving the 2023 Rita Wiggs Award. She is the first ever Southern Virginia Knight to receive that honor. And with that award, she is the USA South nominee for NCAA Woman of the Year Award and Division III Commissioners Association Women's Sports Student Athlete of the Year Award. So congratulations to Emma Steiger. Again, having called many of her games here at Southern Virginia, it's just really great to see great play rewarded in such a great and fantastic fashion. And Justin, we talked before the game how an exciting broadcast we had today. Again, honoring Southern Virginia's women's soccer team winning the regular season conference championship, and Emma Steiger receiving the Rita Wiggs Award. I mean, it's a great day to be a Knight fan.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the fall sports are coming to a close, and so that means conference tournaments, and so it's exciting to see what SVU Athletics is doing and accomplishing right now.
It absolutely is. And for those just joining us, it is now tied 1 set apiece between the Pacers of William Peace and your Southern Virginia University Knights. Sydney Bassett really able to close the door on that last set, getting her 6th kill of the game. She is 2nd overall in the game behind Hannah Collier of William Peace, who we really didn't see a whole lot of Hannah Collier in that 2nd set. It was interesting to see how Southern Virginia was really able to, key on her, prevent her from really making a whole lot of noise. But we also mentioned the fact that William Peace had some other players step up, provide some great plays like Kelsey Hilton, who ended up with 4 kills after that set. And so for me personally, I'm just really excited to see where this 3rd set can go, because now that Southern Virginia won the 2nd set, we could easily see a 5-set thriller here at the barn.
Yeah, for sure. So looking here at the stats, you can see that. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, just looking at these stats right now. I mean, the person on SVU, the SVU player that has the most attempts right now is Sydney, and she's hitting a 286. And for those that are unfamiliar with volleyball, it's similar to baseball in that a 300 hitting around a 300 is good. That's a very good hitting percentage, and so she's doing a very good job this match. We'll see if she can get more sets and continue to convert like she has been.
Absolutely.
And same with Madison Green. She hasn't had too many attempts, but she's staying at a 400, which is really good as well.
It absolutely is. And again, we talked about being more diverse or unpredictable in your attack when you're Southern Virginia. Again,
Right.
You mentioned Cindy Bassett having a lot of attempts, and she's able to land a lot of those, which, again, she's getting those attempts for good reason. But again, spreading it out, getting it to Madison Green and Clyde. Clyde's had a lot of powerful hits. I feel like William Peace's back row has done a really good job as far as Brenna Clyde's hits, getting that first pass off her, getting a dig off of her. So they've really kind of figured out where she's going. And so if you're Brenna Clyde, you're trying to think, okay, how much, where can I approach differently? Where can I try to hit to differently this set?
Yeah, anytime a team kind of focuses one hitter, it makes it easy for the defense. They know where it's going to go. The block can get there and be formed. And so you got to keep your offensive dynamic, make sure you're setting different players.
Here's Hoofman back to serve to start this third set.
Here we go. Tip from the middle.
That was Green and Clyde on there.
Same
Clyde
thing.
getting hand on that again.
Sarah
Here's
Hoofman
Bassett.
Perfect tip from Sydney Bassett there. Sarah Hoofman has been getting a lot of digs I've been seeing, which is always fun to see from a setter. Usually, sometimes you see from setters that they kind of let other people dig and they want that second contact, but she's not afraid to go and get that first contact, which is really good.
And we've seen several plays where she runs in, basically leaning forward as far as she can and trying to get it up and keep the play alive.
Keep it on our side.
So that service error results in a 1-1 score here in the third set. So the fact that Southern Virginia won that second set is huge in and of itself, because in the first match between these two teams earlier in the year, William Peace swept the Knights 3-0. Ensley struggling with that first pass.
Yeah, so if I'm a Knight, that's going to give me a lot of confidence. We're already doing better than we were in that first match against them.
And because of that, like, at the end of the day, even if William Peace comes back and maybe wins the whole thing, who knows? I think if you're Southern Virginia, you're looking at that, like you said, and thinking, hey, look how much we've improved over the year. Look how much more confidence we have. Clyde, oh my goodness.
Brenna finds the line there.
Just exactly what we were talking about. She decides to attack that line rather than try to get inside like she had been all game long, and it worked out for her.
Absolutely.
Here's Bassett back to serve.
Yeah, if the set's there for the Knights, I want to see them swinging like that more often. They're good at it. You just got to have that confidence and don't hesitate. Just go for it. If the set's there, go for it.
Another service error for Southern Virginia.
Number 14, Georgia Anderson back to serve.
Clyde having to go after that one.
Good recycle from Brenna. Sorry.
No, you're good. Here is Collier. Hoofman was there, but fantastic hit from Collier. With that last serve from Sydney Bassett, the Knights now have 8 service errors on the night. Here's Madeline to Bassett. Another point for Southern Virginia. Bring it back within 1. And we'll see Peterson come back on the floor.
Jessica Ensley to serve for the Knights.
Collier. Peterson gets her hand on that one. Ensley keeping it alive.
Good hit from Brooklyn out of system. Barn coming into effect there.
Good first pass. Hoofman to Clyde.
Great block from the Pacers.
Peterson swinging. That's going to be long. She wanted to put an end to that set, or that rally really quickly.
Yeah.
And we got number 15, Kelsey Hilton, subbing back in. And we'll see number 9, Audrey Spindle. Here's Hoofman to Clyde. Great diving effort there from Moore.
That was an amazing dig from the libero.
And that's going to go out, bring the Knights back within 1. And like you said, the libero number 16, Logan Moore, senior from Jacksonville, North Carolina, really doing a lot of great work out there today.
Yeah, not only was she reaching for that, diving for that, but it was It's right to the setter, right where she wanted it to go, which is impressive. Nikki Stevenson back to serve here for the Knights.
Logan Moore actually has 16 digs on the day, just ahead of Jessica Ensley, who has 15. Another good swing there from Peterson, but great work there from Juanez. Slide. They're gonna say that that was Madeline.
Right.
Gives the Pacers back the lead. And Hannah Collier back to serve with a substitution of number 4, Kelsey Bierbauer, senior from Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Here's Madeline. That falls from Madeline. She's kind of had a hard time getting going today, but that falls for her that time.
Yeah, good job out of system, finding that outside of that block to get the tool there. It's almost impossible to dig as back row defense is that tool where it goes off the side of the block like that.
Right. They're going to call.
Double called.
Indeed.
Is there on the second contact.
As we tied up at 6 apiece here, so another unforced error for William Peace. That's been kind of the key thing for William Peace a lot of time is self-inflicted wounds, and that's something we talked about that Southern Virginia needed to avoid. That's been more common for William Peace today.
Yeah, so here in this third set, we're seeing the same thing of just a close match. There hasn't really been any breakaways from either team,
right.
Which is fun to see. Both teams are staying engaged and intense, and they're here to play.
Here's Ensley to Bassett. Great work there from Spindle. Free ball opportunity here for the Pacers. Tipped up by Bassett. Here's Peterson. Blaymar's diving for that one.
Back row swing from Nikki. You don't see that very often. That's fun to see.
Right on the line. That's about as close as I can get.
That just absolutely painted the line.
My goodness. That's one you can't even really be mad at.
Right.
That's just a great placement. And here's Moore back to serve once again. Here's Bassett flying up, delivering the blow.
Yeah, Sydney's on fire. She's really doing well with these sets that Sarah's given her. It's fun to see.
That's
a very strong, athletic hitter.
She really is. I mean, she just keeps going up and up and up. It's like she never is going to come down.
Yeah.
Bassett now with 9 kills on the day, tied with Hannah Collier for William Peace. Speaking of Collier, not able to handle that first pass. Stevenson, whenever Stevenson's been back, Taryn Anderson's been back to serve, and Hannah Collier's in the back middle, she's really targeted her, and it's tripped up Collier a couple of times.
Yeah.
Collier able to handle that first pass that time.
Yeah, I mean that's the essence. That's the essence of volleyball right there. Is side out, serve receive side out, being able to pass a serve, receive well, and then putting it away. If you can do that, you're gonna win. You're gonna win matches, and that's what the Pacers did there.
There's a little bit of space between Hoofman and the net on that attempted block, so now we'll have number 18, Megan Brilski, back to serve. That serve just short. Ties it back up at 9. We'll see Clyde come back onto the floor. You just kind of feel the tension in the barn building a little bit as each point goes along.
It's a high arcing serve there, but it works.
Here's Clyde. Beautiful swing right towards us. Once again getting us involved.
Almost getting hit.
I mean, I'm willing to give myself a pat on the back for blocking that for myself, keep myself safe.
Good defense. Big swing by Brenna. There's not much you can do about that in defense.
Knights now up by 1. Right on the back line. I mean, tell you what, the Pacers have gotten a lot of hits right on that back line today.
Oh, yeah. It's so fun to see hitters, even if the set's not perfectly where they want it, getting up there and placing the ball and getting a kill still. That's the hitter I want on my team, is someone that's able to do that.
We have Jordan Juarez back to serve. Clyde having to pass it to Blay Myers. Oh, Clyde tried to rise and put it back down. Put it 2 straight down, actually.
On her own side.
But that was right after the great blocking effort from Maddie Green.
Beautiful block. They sealed that. Both of the blockers were together. It's hard to get through that.
Here's Juarez back to serve again. The Pacers have regained the lead. Bassett off the pass from Ensley. Tipped at the net. That'll go down for Collier. Gives her 10th kill, the first to go into double digits.
Yeah, once again, it's very hard on defense to dig those. You never know when it's going to hit the net like that or the block. So you just have to always be ready.
And Green working with that set. Great battle at the net that time, won by the Knights.
Yeah, lots of tips and jousts there at the net for that point. But the Knights are able to convert.
We'll see Sydney Bassett back to serve, and subbing in for Southern Virginia is Brooklyn Madlin. The ceiling, welcome to the barn.
That's right. Yeah, if you don't have experience practicing here and playing with this roof, you get caught off guard and stuff like that happens.
It really does throw you off. I remember when I first came here to campus back in 2017, working with the basketball team and experiencing that low ceiling for the first time. It can kind of throw you off, especially as someone like myself who likes to be an outside shooter.
Yeah.
You have to worry about the arch of your shot a little bit.
Right.
That hit goes out, but it'll be a point for William Peace. But kind of like you were talking about, Justin, is that if you practice here, you know how the ceiling is going to change the trajectory of the ball, so It gives the Knights a little bit more of an advantage there, which is why the past couple of years having the home court advantage in conference tournament time has been so valuable.
Absolutely. It's also why for men's volleyball, when we won conference or were first in conference, they actually wouldn't let us play here. We had to go to a different location here in BV, which is understandable.
Right.
As a defense, you can use the ceiling if you want, pass it into these air tubes here and give yourself a little bit more time.
So the Pacers with a 2-point lead. Hoofman having to run out of bounds and grab that one. Once again, the ceiling coming into play.
Yep.
The ceiling's basically saying, you're talking about me? Okay, I'm going to get involved a little bit more.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's 2 air tubes here. Sometimes they're kind of blown up, and so that ball will just ricochet really hard. Sometimes they're not. They're a little bit deflated, and so it gets up in there, and it gives you more time. So it's a weird dynamic.
Here's Ensley to serve.
Yeah, good serve. Tip from the Pacers, finds the ground there.
And Bassett trying to dive for that one, and the Pacers extend their lead once again to 2 points.
Yeah. As a defensive player, as soon as you see that hand go up and you see that's going to be tip, you got to make your move immediately, or else it's going to be very hard to dig that ball, which is obviously easier said than done.
Right. I think one of the major issues is trying to break out of the idea of watching the play happen.
Yeah.
Whereas reacting in real time. That serve just short from Audrey Spindle.
Nikki Stevenson coming in for Brenna Clyde here to serve.
And she has been pretty consistent so far today in that category. Knights down by 1. Nice low serve. That one out for Hilton. Ties it back up at 15.
That's right.
One of the few times where a hit from William Peace has gone towards that back line and it hasn't been in.
Right. Yeah, they've been pretty good at that shot, hitting that back line.
Another great serve from Stevenson. Great pass. And Peterson trying to find that opening.
Ball is in her hand for a while. Let's see if they call here. Ball is out.
Yeah, just out for Madeline. Once again, it's been kind of difficult for Madeline to get going today. Another substitution for the Pacers. Number 4, Kelsey Bierbauer. We'll have Hannah Collier back to serve. Madeline flying in, Moore with the dig. Here's the pin. Diving effort there from Moore. And Bassett trying to get that first pass, not able to do so. 2-point lead once again for the Pacers. And I feel like every time number 22, Landis Lamone, is in that middle block position for the Pacers, it becomes all the more difficult for the hitters of Southern Virginia to get anything going.
For sure. Yeah, she's doing super well at forming that block, placing herself in the right position.
A little miscommunication there in the back row between Ensley and Bassett, so Coach Baker will call a timeout as the Pacers have a 3-point lead here in the third set. I believe this is the largest lead that either team has had in this set.
In the entire match, maybe even.
Possibly, yeah. Well, I think the Pacers had a 4-point lead at one point, but very close to that. That just shows you, those who are watching this game, how close this has been back and forth. No team has really gone on a really extensive run by any means. And, again, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
This makes it so fun as a spectator.
It really does. As a spectator, as a commentator, I mean, there's, like, obviously as a fan, you love to see your team have a blowout win. There's a little security to that.
Right.
But when you're a commentator, I'm just going to be plain honest. There's only so much you can talk about in a blowout victory or a blowout loss. But when it's a tie game like this, there's so many factors to talk about. There's so much excitement. The tension is high.
Keeps you engaged.
It makes it all the more rewarding.
Yeah, for sure.
Being in that environment.
I mean, as a player also, you almost want to see the opposing team to do. You want to see them do well because then it forces you to play well also.
Right.
When an opposing team isn't playing super well, you almost get kind of too comfortable and you don't play to your best ability, and that's really no fun as a player.
I think volleyball, just from the amount that I've witnessed as a commentator over the past half decade, is that I feel like volleyball is the sport that it's more true than any other that you can tend to play to the level of your competition.
Right.
Whether you're playing a team that maybe doesn't have as many skilled players as you, or maybe they are really high skilled, you play to their level, and that's going to be in for the Pacers. But it's kind of like what you're saying, is that if you're playing a team where, you know, you have overall better players or better statistics, whatever the case may be, you tend to get comfortable, maybe a little lazy, right? Yeah. But then if you have a team that's playing well and really executing, that makes you that much more alert and ready to go.
Absolutely.
Great push there from Peterson. Hoofman got her hand on that one.
Yeah,
so
she did get a touch, but the hit was just too strong.
And just like that, I believe this is the largest lead of the night for either team. 5-point lead for the Pacers, 20-15.
Let's see what the Knights can do here if they can fight back. Show
Just
some
those,
grit.
Indeed, for those who watched the second set, they saw that the Pacers were up 22-18 over Southern Virginia, and the Knights came back, and that send over from Ensley a little too far to the outside. Now a 6-point lead. You can start to see a little bit of frustration building on Southern Virginia's side.
Yeah, there's an increase in unforced errors as well, not to kind of beat a dead horse, but that's key.
Great work there from Moore. That one into the net, point for Southern Virginia, and that breaks that slide that they were on there for a moment.
Absolutely.
So now, much like in the previous set, you have a huge uphill battle if you're the Knights. Can't have any unforced errors here. That's going to get through the block off of Kelsey Bierbauer.
Yeah, another tool. We've been seeing that quite a bit, especially in this third set. William Peace is able to find ways to get hits off of the block and get tools. And that can be very frustrating for Southern Virginia.
Absolutely, and a timeout called by head coach Debbie Baker. And down by 6, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this has been such a back and forth game that if you were to drop the set, it's not the end of the world. You don't just immediately lose the entire game.
Right.
But you just won the second set. You gained a lot of momentum. You want to maintain that. And also, again, we talk about conference standings. Conference standings are on the line. This is the 3rd team in conference face off against the 5th team in conference. Southern Virginia wanting to build and build. And again, in these next couple points, no room for error whatsoever. You got to serve well, receive those passes. And I feel like it's been a pattern the past couple of sets that Southern Virginia's back row passing has kind of started to lack a little bit as the set goes on.
For sure.
So hopefully they're able to correct that. They have a substitution in number 8, Ruby Blaemeyers, who has stepped in on a couple occasions so far today to provide some help on that back line.
Yeah, I think the key to fixing what you were saying is in that back row, just staying confident, no hesitation, and just keeping the ball on your side and in the middle of the court. You don't need to pinpoint it, make a perfect pass. Just keep it high and in the middle of your side.
Ensley diving. Hoofman gets it back over. What an effort from Ensley. And that goes down for Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson has been really good this match of putting balls away when she gets the opportunity.
She hasn't gotten a lot of targets, but like you said, whenever she has gotten them, she has capitalized. Now with 7 kills in the day. A little out of sorts there for Southern Virginia.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if they can convert.
Peterson gets that on the back line. And I think a big thing if you're Southern Virginia is that if you do lose this set, you don't lose it lying down.
Right, absolutely.
You fight back, get back whatever you can, make it maybe a 2-point or 1-point loss in the set. Or I guess it can't be a 1-point loss, but you get my point.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. I mean, momentum is still a factor. I don't care if you lose the set or not. If you just kind of lay down and let them beat you, you're still giving them that momentum. Now they have a lot more momentum going into the next set.
Yeah,
and
you
so
want to lay a foundation for the next set to build upon.
So what we're trying to do right now, I mean, it's not impossible. We could win the set, but at this point, if I'm Southern Virginia, if I'm one of them, I'm trying to get some momentum back, whatever it may be, whether it's a big kill, big block, just to get us going for that next set.
Now back to serve as Megan Brilski scores now 24-17 in favor of the Pacers. Little miscommunication on that back line there. And so a service ace will close out this 3rd set, make it 2-1 for the Pacers. And again, a lot of unforced errors there for Southern Virginia at the end of that 3rd set. But again, we mentioned before, you're down 2-1. You've been in this situation before. I mean, there have been multiple occasions this season where Southern Virginia has been down either 2-0 or 2-1, and they've stormed back to take the game. So, I mean, it's all open for Southern Virginia. And if you're William Peace, some things you're building on is the fact that they've been doing a better job at backing up their middle blockers, right? They've had someone there to keep the play alive if the ball does get through. And that has really saved them several points, especially in that 3rd set.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is an opportunity for the Knights to just reset. It's a new set, and you take 1 point at a time. Each point is a new one, and so you just have to learn to reset and stay composed and play your game. Limit those unforced errors like we're saying.
Absolutely do. And so we talked about earlier on how the stats were very, very similar for both teams. William Peace has kind of taken the lead on some of these statistics. In total kills, they have 40 compared to Southern Virginia's 28, although William Peace does have more attack errors. And with hitting percentage, they're leading 152 to 110, so not huge disparity there. And then service aces, I think that's the biggest thing right now for William Peace is that they're leading in that category 9 service aces to 5.
Okay.
And that's been a huge issue for Southern Virginia is that sometimes, especially like we mentioned, later in the sets, the pass has been kind of inaccurate. They've not been able to read it as well, which resulted, of course, Southern Virginia's 9 reception errors compared to William Peace's 5. And so during this break, we want to remind you, you're watching this on Night Broadcasting here on YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know your highlight of the game so far. And be sure to leave us a comment on how we can improve in this presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. We appreciate your support of Night's Broadcasting. And again, Justin, it's been an absolute fantastic game so far. Probably, in my opinion, the most intense and fantastic game of the year that we've had here on Night's Broadcasting for Southern Virginia Volleyball. And my main hope is that this next set continues to be more of the same, that Southern Virginia will be able to fight back, you know, recover from some of the mistakes they made at the end of that third set and not let that identify them throughout the rest of this game. For sure.
And just going back to those stats that you're talking about, one big difference that I'm seeing is the hitting percentage. William Peace is at hitting a 152 while the Knights are hitting a 109. And so what this is going to tell us or show us is that William Peace is doing a little bit better at making smarter shots, keeping it in with their hitting, hitting it around the block. And so if the Knights want to turn this around, I think they're going to have to improve on that, which, once again, it always comes back to what's the prior contact, which is the passing. It all comes back to the passing. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not over. It's anybody's game right now, and so we'll see who wants it more in this fourth set.
And I think a lot will come down to who can make the correct adjustments and who can actually execute those adjustments better in this third set. Could be the potentially final set, and again, battle of wits between Coach Debbie Baker for Southern Virginia in her 6th season as head coach, and head coach Hannah Marshall from William Peace in her 2nd season. And, you know, just looking at the stats for head coach Hannah Marshall, her first year as head coach, William Peace went 27-8. And they had overall conference record of 15-3, finished 2nd in the conference as a rookie head coach.
Yeah.
And then 2nd year, of course, being 3rd in the conference, still very much high in the conference rankings. Great effort there from Green to keep that alive.
Yeah, good touch. Great placement on that free ball.
Here's one as blocked. Well, I think they'll call that as a block for Clyde, but I think the net got most of that one.
Yeah, so he actually called 4 touches, so
okay.
I don't know what they're going to do with stats, but the refs called no touch.
So with that, the Knights will start off with a fantastic play. We'll have the lead 1-0. Here's Clyde. Great work there from Moore.
Good out of system hit from number 20 there.
There's a save. So it'll be a point for Southern Virginia.
Yeah, so on those free ball plays, you just have to convert. You can't have those bad passes or overpasses like we saw there from William Peace.
And so far, to start this fourth set, I mean, William Peace looking a tad sloppy.
Right.
But you can expect a team like this to correct that really quickly.
Absolutely.
Here's Clyde. That hit, just a little too much mustard on that one.
Right, just wasn't able to get on top of that ball enough.
And so now we'll see Jordan Juanez back to serve.
Forward pass there from Jessica.
Able to get through the effort there from Green and Clyde.
And that's the danger of not sealing that block. When the block leaves a hole there, the hitter can find that, and it's very difficult to dig. So you want to go ahead and close that block if you can.
That gives Collier yet another kill today, bring it to 11. A service ace for the Pacers.
Great placement on that serve, finds that back corner.
That makes 11 service aces for the Pacers in today's game, compared to Southern Virginia's 5. Here's Clyde. Clyde able to get through the block, ties back up at 3.
Yeah, not pressing enough there, so the ball's able to find the other side.
And I mean, you look at the difference between service aces for both squads right now. I mean, You have 11 service aces compared to 5. That's 6 points. That's a huge difference in a game like this where it's been really back and forth between 2 points or 3 points. That hit from Collier is going to go out. And that goes back to one of the main things every single time I talk to Coach Baker, like keys for today's game. She always says serve receive is one of them every single time.
Yeah.
Which of course we talked about. It's essential. You need it.
Yeah.
But
volleyball is a serve and serve receive game. I know it's frustrating to think like that, but what it comes down to is who can serve better and who can serve receive better.
Right.
Yeah, if really the only stat that I need if I want to determine who's going to win is who has the better serve receive. I mean, if they have the better serve receive, there's like a 70% chance they're winning that match.
Clyde trying to put it back down. That's Moore with the dig. Here's Madlin.
Madlin.
The stealing coming into play once again.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually a really, really good dig. Utilized the barn well, but the second contact wasn't there because of the barn. So
the Knights now have a 3-point lead. Indeed, getting that experience with the barn. Everyone needs that at some point. Great serve from Ensley. Riding that back line once again for Anderson.
There it is again.
Just the placement for the Pacers so far today has just been spot on.
Yeah, if I'm the Knights, we gotta adapt. We gotta adjust to that. We've seen that a lot, and we can't allow that to happen too much.
Great first pass from Bassett. Here's Clyde. Error call 4 on that one.
Yep.
Brings it back within 1. Again, it's just been a consistent pattern today. One team takes a 2 or 3 point lead. The other team storms back, brings back within 1 or ties it up.
Right.
The pattern remains unbroken. Here's Collier. Beautiful block for Peterson.
Very well formed block by Jelaine. Able to press well, and if you're pressing as a blocker, I mean, the ball's going to stay on the other side.
We'll have Nikki Stevenson back to serve for Southern Virginia. They've extended their lead back to 2. That one just a little long for Stevenson.
It's a free side out for the Pacers there. Number 9, Audrey Spindle, sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina, back to serve.
And that brings the service errors for Southern Virginia, and they've been abundant today with 11. And that gives William Peace number 10. There's a little thing called the commentator's curse. When you point something out, either the opposite happens or that exact same thing happens that you pointed out. And then everyone gets mad at you and then blames you for it, even though you have nothing to do with the game. Good pass from Ensley. Bassett across the middle. That's 2 out of 2 times when they've attacked the middle with Bassett, it has resulted in a kill.
That's right. Once again, that requires a good pass, which they got there.
Knights up by 3 once again.
Brooklyn Madlin back to serve.
That serve just short. Brings it back within 2. We'll see. Ruby Blamar is back in the game for Southern Virginia. And Hannah Collier back to serve. Bassett.
I love seeing that.
What a dig. Back-to-back fantastic digs for Southern Virginia.
Amazing defense.
Collier running in, and last-second communication error for Southern Virginia.
Man, that's hard to see. I mean, there was great defense there. They were reading well, and then just lack of communication is what ends it. It's that simple.
Now back within 1. Here's Collier back to serve. Here's Peterson. That one a little short, ties it back up at 9.
Yeah, just not quite able to get it over the net there.
Now's the time for Southern Virginia. You got to stop this slippery slope you found yourself on.
That's right.
Here's Bassett, hoping to end the slide, and she will. Bassett now with 11 kills on the day. And we'll see substitutions of Taryn Anderson and Madison Green.
Yeah, just in these last 2 points, we've been able to see Sydney hit over the block and keep it in, being very consistent.
Good work there from Bassett. Back row, Stevenson.
Great covers from the Knights.
Here's Bassett. That'll be out on that hit. And once again, as soon as you see number 22, Landis Limon, come in, she is an absolute terror.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a big effect on the game.
I mean, those three straight hits where someone goes up to hit it, and Limon is just right there to put it right back. That's more to serve. Green's able to capitalize, get to fall right in front of Anderson. Brenna Clyde will come back onto the floor.
Sarah Hoofman from Las Vegas, back to serve. That's actually where I'm from. We went to rival high schools, fun fact.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
They're called double there.
Got a double called.
We'll see if that Las Vegas luck can continue to help out. Hoofman behind the line. Diving effort there from Blaine Myers, but a point for the Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, even though Ruby Blaine Myers wasn't in the right place, I love seeing the effort. It was actually a really good touch. So
now we're waiting to see who's back to serve. It is indeed number 18, Megan Brilski. You know, Justin, I've been in Las Vegas exactly one time in my life, and it was for 3 hours. Waiting for a flight, had a quick tour of the city. It was the quickest tour of anything I've ever had in my life. I had a massive headache afterwards with all the lights. And Bassett, talk about headaches. That's going to cost them for the Pacers. My goodness.
Yeah, I'm loving the confidence from Sydney Bassett right now. She's swinging at the ball, and that's what we need.
Here's Bassett back to serve. Knights have maintained around a 2-point lead, and as in the middle of saying that, again, commentator concurs is real, folks.
Right. All right, number 20, Jordan Juanez from Wilmington, North Carolina, back to serve.
Juanez has 3 service aces so far today. Bassett able to recover it from the ceiling. Ensley has to send it over, and she does. Madlin gets her hand on it, but it goes down as a kill for Spindle. Ties up at 13.
Yeah, not quite able to press over there. The Pacers find that tool.
But Madlin being on her own, able to get her hands on it. Impressive nonetheless. We'll see if the Knights can refrain from allowing a lead to fall. There's Madlin. She does just that.
Reciprocates, does it right back.
And we'll see Peterson come back on the floor with Ensley back to serve. Nice short serve from Ensley. Collier. That's going to be out. Ties it back up. And we'll see number 22, Landis Limon, come back on the floor.
Number 14, Georgia Anderson, back to serve.
And again, folks, if you haven't noticed yet, just watch Limon at the net. Of course, can't really that time. Service error there. But if you just watch Lamont at the net, she's involved pretty much in every play, getting her hand on the ball to some degree while she's on the floor.
That's right.
We'll see Stevenson back to serve for Southern Virginia.
I think it's safe to say that middle blocker is the most difficult position. There's a lot of movement and reading that you need to do, especially when there's quick sets. It's hard to do that. And so it's really impressive that Lamont is able to get a lot of contacts.
What a serve for Stevenson. And again, Stevenson targeting Hannah Collier. She has done that consistently today, has 3 service aces, just targeting her alone. Or Southern Virginia in general has that anyway. Great work from Bassett.
Good. Free ball play here for Pacers.
Collier gets it past Ensley, brings it back within 1.
Able to hit it just over the block.
And we'll see number 15, Kelsey Hilton, subbed back in for the Pacers. With Spindle back to serve. Knights trying to hold on to a 1-point lead. Served just a little too long.
Brooklyn Madeline back to serve now for the Knights.
That makes service error number 12 for William Peace. And the Knights have 13 of their own. Makes number 14.
Yeah, I mean, in order to go on runs, you got to get your serves in. I know that's oversimplifying it, but
it's just speaking the truth, honestly, at this point. Now Hannah Collier back to serve. Here's Bassett. Another kill for Bassett.
yeah, I mean, she's been really clutch for the Knights this match, getting big kills, helping with the momentum.
That's exactly right. I mean, whenever the Knights need a big point, she's right there to deliver it. It's absolutely fantastic and fun to watch. Anderson and Green are subbed in, and Anderson's serve is just short. And we'll see Anderson subbed back in for the Pacers with Moore back to serve. Still a 1-point game. Green. Here's Bassett again. Back row, Collier. And that's going to land for Bassett. She had to stop her approach and take a little running start to her right side.
Yeah, so part of the hitter's approach is 4 steps, and that second and third step are usually used to kind of adjust wherever that set may be. And she did that super well.
Here's Hoofman. That serve just short. Another service error for Southern Virginia. Again, you get a great play, and then you have a serve that is just short. And I think that's happened most of the past 3 plays now for Southern Virginia when they've gotten the point back.
Right. Yeah, you just got to get more serves in.
And again, it's just those unforced errors. If you don't have those, that's, I think, 4 or 5 points that you've given to the Pacers in this 4th set.
Right.
Bassett flying in for the back row, my goodness. Flying in over a teammate.
Big, oh, net touch called on the Knights.
They're going to call that on Green and ties it up at 19. Yeah, I think you had Maddie Green going up for it, and then Bassett just flew in.
Yeah. Thought Sydney was going to land on her.
Bassett back row.
Net touch called.
And I think they're going to say it was Anderson who was the guilty party. And we'll have Madeline come back onto the floor. The Knights take back the lead, 20-19. Bassett has 4 service aces today.
There we go.
Anderson, great hit. Clyde having to send it back over. Tipped by Clyde. Pass to Clyde.
System set.
Off the hand of Anderson, and it's going to be a kill for Clyde.
Yeah, so, I mean, the Pacers had a great opportunity there to put the ball away. They had a few free ball opportunities and just weren't able to convert.
And a timeout will be called by William Peace. The score right now is 21-19 in favor of Southern Virginia. I think for the first time today, they're the first to 20 points, which is a huge step in the right direction if you're trying to make this a 5-set thriller by any means. I mean, trying to get, because again, it's been the consistent pattern of William Peace getting to 18 or 19 first, then 20 first, and then the Knights have had to battle back. Now they're in the opposite situation where now they have to kind of defend a lead, and we'll just see if Southern Virginia can do just that.
Right. This is a must-win for them.
It absolutely is to stay alive in this one. And again, a chance to win a conference rematch against a team that swept you earlier in the year. We talked about this earlier, how already so far they've played much better than they did in that first outing.
For sure.
By far. Able to compete a lot better. Their defense has been way more consistent. But now at this point, that's almost kind of like a shark in the water. You smell the blood in the water.
Yeah.
You want to go get that win. You want to go force 5 sets. And at that point, you go from there.
Yeah.
Bassett back to serve once again.
Yeah, and I know from the Knights' position, they've been a little frustrated with some of their performances, and so I think getting this win and performing in this way is going to give them some confidence going into postseason as well.
And another service ace for Bassett. That'll definitely help. The Knights just 3 points away from forcing 5. Clyde having to send it over. That's going to go right into the net, make it 23-19, Southern Virginia.
Yeah, just unable to get it over the net there, got on top of it too much.
Bierbauer struggling against Brenda Clyde on that near side. Back row, Collier. Hensley to Clyde. Here's Bierbauer again, tipped by Clyde.
Good pickup from Sarah Hoofman there.
Madlin.
A lot of out-of-system plays here.
It's kind of like you pointed out, Justin, that Hoofman has kind of been forced to get a lot of digs, and another hit a little too far for the Pacers.
One step closer to winning that 4th set for the Knights.
It should be set point for Southern Virginia, I believe. The big scoreboard in the arena is not correct.
There it is.
Yeah, indeed, they made the correction now. And the Knights will take set number 4, thanks to several errors from William Peace, 25-19. I think that's the biggest margin of victory that we've seen so far.
Yeah, well done by the Knights to keep their composure and to finish off that 4th set.
Actually, that's not correct. The 3rd set, William Peace won 25-17, did a really good job of taking advantage of a lot of mistakes from Southern Virginia, but very close to it. I mean, winning 25-19. Of course, going into the 4th, or the 5th set, excuse me, it's 1st to 15 instead. And so now it's more important to start fast than ever in this game.
Right.
You got to make sure to, if you're Southern Virginia, keep using that momentum that you built up in that 4th set and try to fight back and get the win here, to say the least.
Yeah, so just looking at the amount of attempts these hitters are getting, it looks like for William Peace, Collier is getting the most attempts at 47, while Sydney Bassett is getting the most for the Knights at 43. Yeah, so if, on the defensive side, if I'm looking at these stats, I want to be aware that the ball is mostly going to go to them and be ready for that and look for their tendencies.
Absolutely. And just looking at the statistical leaders for both squads so far, In the kills category, Sydney Bassett leads both teams with 15 kills to herself. Hannah Collier with 13 for William Peace. Then assists, you have Brilski leading the Pacers with 18. And then for Southern Virginia, of course, you have Hoofman with 28 assists. Jessica Ensley getting in there with 4, and Madeline with 1. And we talked about how Hoofman has done a lot more back row work as the game has gone along, getting a lot of digs. And now we talk about how that can kind of force you to be a little out of system. But the Knights have been able to manage.
Yeah.
They've been able to get those good, solid passes, and Hoofman, one of the leaders in digs with 19 of her own.
Yeah, so coming into this 5th set, I mean, as a player, it just feels like almost that those last 4 sets, they're gone.
Right.
It all comes down to this 5th set. It's tied up. It's almost as if it's 0-0, right?
Right.
And so we're going to see who has the grit, who wants it more here for these last 15 points.
It's kind of like the idea of, as an athlete, you have to have short-term memory.
Right.
You know, even if you won the previous set or if you lost the previous set, like you said, it's a whole new game.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the only thing that really matters for us to win today. It doesn't matter us coming back in that second set or that 4th set. It doesn't matter.
Right.
What matters is what we do now, the amount of mistakes we make now, the amount of plays we execute now.
Yeah.
And so we'll see who at the end of the day will come away thinking, hey, we limited our mistakes, or hey, we let our mistakes doom us.
Yeah. So one thing that I could see going wrong possibly is maybe a hesitation or not coming out with full confidence and hitting the ball. And so that's what I want to see, is them able to, both teams, being able to come out confident, play their best, swing at the ball, and be aggressive. It'll make for a good, intense 5th set.
You know, kind of talking about the amount of targets that different players have gotten, since it's a shorter or lower amount of points they need to get to, I wouldn't be surprised if the amount of targets towards Sydney Bassett for Southern Virginia escalates tenfold. They just target her because, again, she's been hitting very consistently with a lot of power, finding those openings. And when you have something that's working for you, the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? So now we'll see Hoofman back to serve for Southern Virginia here in the 5th and final set in what has been an absolutely exciting and stellar conference matchup here in the USA South.
All right, here we go.
Nice high serve there from Hoofman.
That would have found the back line there. There's a touch on the block.
And one is going to get the kill there.
And now she'll be back to serve.
So the Pacers starting off real quickly. Now when it comes to serve receive, if you're Southern Virginia, you got to have your best passing in this set. Great pass from Ensley. Open it to Green.
That's what we want to run every time if we get a good pass. Madison Green has been doing super well this match.
She absolutely has. And now we'll have Bassett back to serve, tied at 1 apiece.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the height of that set, but I mean, it works, so
yeah,
we'll do it what works.
Great placement there from Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, once again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. They keep hitting that back corner.
One is back to serve once again. Short serve, rolls over the net. What a fortunate roll for, excuse me, that's Anderson serving.
Right.
So 3-1 lead for the Pacers. Here's Clyde. Point Southern Virginia. It's going to go out of bounds off the touch from Lamone.
Jessica Ensley back to serve for the Knights here.
And here's the issue if you're Southern Virginia, you have Lamone there on that front line. Got to be very careful. There's Collier.
Jessica in the right place there for the dig. Brooklyn finds high hands. Out of system here. Knights are going to get a free ball. Let's see if they can convert.
Peterson gets that one to fall in front of Collier. Ties it back up at 3.
Yeah, as a blocker, if you leave any space, like I said, between yourself and the net, it just gives the hitter an opportunity to find that space and get a kill.
And the senior stepping up in a big moment to tie things up at 3 apiece.
Great pass.
Here's Clyde.
Out of system here from the Pacers. Knights once again get a free ball.
Peterson. Here's Clyde again. Great back row work from the Pacers right here.
Good job from Jessica getting there.
One is in the back row. Here's Collier. What a rally we have here, folks. My goodness. Collier. Ansley. That's a tough one. That's like right near your chin.
Yep. Yeah, it's that position where, I mean, you have to go hands, but you don't want to. You have to use your hands to pass that.
So now the Pacers take back the lead, 4-3 here with number 9, Audrey Spindle, back to serve.
Good dig from Sydney Bassett there.
That's going to fall for Madeline.
Point goes to the Knights. We're all tied up here in the fifth set, sorry.
Kelsey Hilton was on her way down from the block attempt and didn't have enough power to really get it up in the air. So here's Stevenson back to serve.
Yeah, what we're seeing, like we said, is a lot of digs from Sarah Hoofman, which is forcing Jessica Ensley to set the ball. She gets, usually libero gets the second contact, and you can only use usually they use their platform to set that.
Hoofman trying to go up against Lamont. Great battle at the net we have here. Here's Collier.
A lot of system from Brooklyn. Great consistent swings from Brooklyn here. Back row set to Sydney.
Here's Collier, free ball. That's out.
Just out.
The Knights take back the lead. I mean, what can you say other than the fact that you can just tell that both teams really want to win this fifth set? I mean, obviously you want to win any game you play, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's a next level of desire that both teams are displaying right now with just the consistent effort they're putting out there right now.
For sure.
Madeline. And like you said, she's gotten really good, consistent, strong swings.
Yeah, here in the fifth set.
That's going to roll out.
Yeah, number 8, Hannah Collier, able to find that tool. Going back to what you're saying about the fire that comes with the fifth set, I mean, we talk about wanting to start off a match strong. And so somehow, as a team, you have to find that fire that you get in the fifth set in the first set, right?
Right.
But, I mean, it's very hard to do. I mean, when it's coming down to the wire, you're in the fifth set, it just naturally, as an athlete, you find that fire.
Here's Madeline.
Lots of good digs here from William Peace.
Here's Madeline again. Another point for William Peace, as that was just short. And like you said, just a great job with William Peace's back row, especially with Madeline's hits. I mean, again, we've talked about the strong hits she's had. Great attacks. It's just William Peace's back row has just been that good in this set.
Absolutely.
Peterson on a swing at that one. That's too far. And a timeout be called by Coach Baker in Southern Virginia as the Pacers have a 2-point lead here. Baker's wanting to call a timeout because once a team gets to 8 points, you switch sides.
Right.
And she wants to make sure that they go into that switch with as much momentum as they possibly can have. It's kind of like,
absolutely,
kind of like when you're trying to end a set with a lot of momentum and a lot of energy. You want to make sure that you don't just think like, oh, well, we're just going to the back half now, we're down. Like, you just want to make sure you have that momentum behind you that Southern Virginia has had at points in this fifth set.
For sure. And when, an unforced error is made, that kind of gives the other team momentum. So we're going to go ahead and just take that timeout and not let them gain any momentum from that unforced error.
And again, just going back to how fantastic a game this has been, I feel like I've seen the best defensive volleyball all season long here today compared to the rest of the season. I mean, it's just consistently good rallies, great first passes. I mean, it's just been as fantastic and exciting as you could possibly want it to be. I mean, there's still been sloppiness here and there, but it's been very much condensed compared to what we normally tend to see. Absolutely.
Okay, Collier, number 8, back to serve here for William Peace.
Bassett come from the back row. More. That hit from Hilton. It's going to be short. Brings it back within 1.
We have Brooklyn Madeline, number 25, back to serve for the Knights.
Madeline so far has 6 kills to her name.
1-point game.
That serve just long for Madeline. And now we'll switch sides of the net. Knights now down by 2 going into the final stretch. And again, a lot of it comes down to that serve, receive. Southern Virginia service errors have been decently abundant today. I mean, again, both teams have been guilty of that. But the Knights with 17 now on the day compared to William Peace's 12.
Yeah, so it's 5 free points that that the Pacers have. They don't have to work for it, do anything for it. They just get 5 free points.
And so you're thinking to yourself, okay, let's key on that. Let's be as clean as we possibly can. Because if you play clean volleyball from here on out, you can easily battle back. Well, not easily, but sufficiently. And then Bassett, my gosh!
Sydney flying, getting a big kill.
Sometimes the players on the floor, I feel like they hear what we're saying.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, so we got to clean up some things? All right, here you go.
Yeah, there's a hole in the block, and Sydney was able to crush the ball right through it.
Here's Anderson to serve. That is out. And just like that, it's tied at 8.
8 apiece. Anybody's game. And we can't forget it comes back to serving. Karen's getting her serves in, and that's big.
Anderson again, just skimming the top of the net. Getting there is Bassett and Green, but it's going to fall in front of them. Lead back to the Pacers. We're going to see Ensley come back onto the floor for the Knights, and for the Pacers, we'll see number 18, Megan Brilski. And she will go back to serve.
Good pass from Blaemeyers.
Bassett flying up. Another kill for Bassett.
Really good offense, fast-paced. It's hard to defend as a blocker.
And we'll see Clyde come back onto the floor for the Knights. And we're seeing Blaemeyers having a lot of playing time today compared to other games. Just doing a lot of great work in that back row. Another point for Southern Virginia. And the Knights 5 points away.
Sarah Hoopman back to serve again.
And again, just maintaining that clean, consistent gameplay is critical right now. Hoopman has 1 service ace so far today. Tipped. Ensley to Bassett. Collier with the dig. Great work there from Anderson. Ties it back up at 10.
Yeah, very smart play by number 14. Able to find the open court.
I feel like with every point, this gym is on the verge of exploding with the energy on either sideline. So we'll see Jordan Juanez back to serve.
Good pass.
Green.
Good cover.
Clyde.
Good recycle there. Let's see if they can.
Free ball chance here for the Pacers. Collier. Great dig from Ensley. Hoopman to Bassett. Drops it. Right behind the defenders. Once again, a 1-point lead. And we'll see Brooklyn Madeline come back on the floor.
Number 4, Sydney Bassett is back to serve for the Knights.
Again, another intelligent play from Bassett.
Absolutely.
I mean, she could have easily just swatted that as hard as she could, but she saw the opening. There's Clyde swinging. That one's out, brings it back to a tie game, 11-11.
Yeah, when the set is out of system like that, I mean, what you want to do as a hitter is just get it in, find a spot and get it in. You don't need to really swing as hard as you can.
There's George Grace Anderson with the serve.
Middle with the serve receive. You don't see that very much. Net called. Point goes to the Knights.
I think they're going to say that was. I think they'll say that was number 9, Audrey Spindle. Knights back with the lead. Neither team really giving up an inch. Service ace for Ensley. 2-point lead.
That's big. That 2-point lead is big.
And a timeout called for William Peace. Just 2 points away for the Knights.
Yeah, you can't get too comfortable though and settle. I mean, like we've seen in previous sets, I mean, you can tie it up in a 2-point deficit very quickly.
Absolutely, and Ensley serving again. That was fantastic serve for her. That gives her, I believe, her 3rd service ace of the game, if I'm not mistaken, or her 2nd. We're trying to get the stats here at the announcer's table. But again, what a fantastic game this has been. I mean, I feel like, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I feel like this is the most exciting game we've had here at the barn all season long. And I go back to one of my first conversations I had with Coach Baker about this season. Talking about all of the young players that were coming in, 13 freshmen, many of them playing pivotal roles on this roster, and how it was a little uncomfortable trying to get everybody to work together, to flow together.
Right.
And then you go from there to this just about a month and a half or 2 months later, and now you're seeing some incredible volleyball.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see the chemistry between them with a lot of freshmen.
Here's Ensley for the serve. Collier right in front of Bassett. That serve, it was questionable. I feel like there's a lot of people wanting them to leave it out. It might have been close to being out for Ensley. But still 1-point lead for the Knights with number 9, Audrey Spindle, back to serve. Good first pass. Here's Clyde.
High system, good dig from the libero.
Here's Madeline. Great work there from Juanez. Collier. Collier kind of whiffed on that swing. Not really sure exactly what happened there. But now set point for Southern Virginia with Nikki Stevenson subbing in to serve.
Yeah, let's see if they can play some defense and win this match right here.
Set point. Here's Stevenson. Great setup for Collier. Diving is Ensley. Collier again. Madeline trying to drop it behind Hilton. Moore keeps it alive.
Good dig from Sydney. It's going to go
Bassett.
back to her. Free ball. Let's see if they can win it right here.
Here's the pin. Peterson, the senior. Peterson wins it. The Knights pull off the conference upset. 3-2.
5-set battle, and the Knights come up on top.
My goodness, what? I'm going to say it again. What a game for these two teams. What a fantastic display of competitiveness, of clean offensive work most of the time. There were some moments where it kind of didn't necessarily go their way, but
absolutely,
both teams coming in here playing absolutely phenomenal, fantastic volleyball. Again, some of the best that I've seen all season long. And again, we go back to the conversation we just had about Southern Virginia early in the season playing William Peace, getting swept 3-0.
Right.
And where they were at then and where they're at now, it's almost a night and day difference. And a lot of that comes down to buying in to what the coaches are saying, buying into each other, trusting one another. And this is what the result ends up being. Winning close games like this against teams higher up in the conference and really showing you, yourselves as the players, and really the whole conference, what you can do.
Yeah, and maybe it's just my defensive mindset, but I think one of the big differences is their defense this match. It was really well executed, lots of good digs, placing themselves in the open holes and getting digs. And so, yeah, it's exciting to see. It's going to give them a lot of confidence. I know that. Let's go, Coach.
Coach John Baker coming over here and all excited as they all should be. Well, again, a fantastic game overall. Southern Virginia's next game will be an away game at Greensboro College on Wednesday, October 25th in Greensboro, North Carolina. And then they will have a 3-game home stretch starting October 26th on Thursday against Randolph College, then October 28th that Saturday against North Carolina Wesleyan, then that same day, October 28th on Saturday versus Brevard College. And so now with this victory against William Peace, again, a team that swept you early in the year, the confidence that'll come from this and the way you can build on that confidence could really help define Southern Virginia's season going forward.
Oh, absolutely. They know what they're capable of now. They know who they can be and that they're capable of being the best. And so really your doubt is gone.
Right.
If you had any prior to this match. And so you're going to continue to work hard in practices and be ready to beat whoever you need to in future matches.
Absolutely. And with that, we want to thank you all for tuning into today's presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics via Knights Broadcasting here on YouTube. Once again, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below your highlight of the game. Also, be sure to comment down below some ways we can improve in our visual presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. I'm Dawson Wiedrick, and I've been joined today by Justin Madsen. Justin, it's great to have you here, getting your great volleyball IQ and insight on today's game. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I've had a really good time, and I hope to be able to be back and go Knights.
Absolutely. And with that, just like Justin said, good evening, go Knights, and we'll see you guys next time.